3 of them this time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that's you put our decals on, Audi Body Shop, huh?
For the truck.
Do you order them through them too, or? Oh, okay.
Did a lot of business with those guys through the school over the years. Signs and things like that, lockers, I think.
Emergency gas lines, the yellow ones with the phone numbers and everything, that's where they come from. They do a lot of.
It's
electrical
5:15.
sites for 'em.
Is it? Okay, all righty. Call to order the Cascade Municipal Utilities Board regular monthly meeting on Wednesday, March 2024 at 5:15 PM. Note that all board members are present. In reviewing the agenda,
I'll make a motion to approve agenda.
I will second that motion, please.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried on the agenda. Discuss the yearly reliability plan.
Alright, so this is something that every year is a requirement for utilities to have. Nothing has changed on it from last year to this year. It's just basically stating that, that we're addressing our system and that basically we're a reliable utility. And it kind of goes through all the different things that we're doing for inspections and following all the rules and regulations, and we basically go through this, and then we have to file it with the Iowa Utility Board just to recognize that we understand that this is on us to do all these things and that we're following all the rules and regulations.
Chantel, what's the process for making sure that we have all our inspections done? I mean, do we keep a spreadsheet, or what do we do?
We have a book, we have several books, gas, electric, and then within the book, there's certain, sheets and things that we have to do every so many years, so we have to go through those. We actually have a calendar that we highlight every month, so in the month of January, we know we have to do these things. In the
Yeah.
month of February, we haven't actually changed it in the past year, better knock on wood. It's been consistent for the last couple of years without new things coming up. This actually was the last thing that's really changed, is filing this.
Do those get audited ever?
Yeah, so,
I thought they did. yeah.
yep, the gas inspector from the Iowa Utility Board actually just reached out, and he is coming at the beginning of May to inspect us. So he'll go back from the last time he was here, and then he'll inspect forward to make sure that he goes through all of our binders, all of our stuff.
So we keep a running log on what we do with everything.
And what we have to fix,
Yep.
and what we check, and what we find out when we check things, and
That was
Is
my-
that
same.
Is that an annual thing too, like? this
He
year?
hasn't, no, they
No?
come every couple years.
Okay.
With COVID, it kind of got shifted, like, they were pretty regular with their timing, and now it's been
Yeah.
kind of sporadic. I mean, it's more
Okay.
sporadic than I think it used to be.
2022.
Yeah, I want to say it's been 2 years since
Okay.
and they both came. I'm expecting to hear from electric, because last year when gas came, it was probably within a month the electric guy reached out, and he came also, so.
Okay.
I feel like we're probably gonna hear from him also soon, and if we don't, if it's next year, they go back to whenever the last time is with you're inspected. And then when they find things, if they find anything that you're missing, or they actually go out and they look at different parts of the system for both gas and electric, then they come back to us and say, we found this house that has this venting issue, or whatever the case may be, and you have 90 days to go out and fix it, and blah, 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 so.
Okay.
But to answer your question, yes, we have different books and binders and forms and things that we have to do every single month, and then they come and inspect to make sure we're inspecting.
Do we still have any wood poles around?
We have 4 or 5.
You mean like,
We're at the substation.
you mean not up? Or do you mean that we inspect?
No, well, poles left in service.
Yes,
that
we have a lot.
We have 2 poles that are still in service.
You talking about us, or you talking, well, I'm thinking.
The
of-
utilities.
Well, utilities, a couple, but we inspect the street lights too, and there's a lot of street light wood
Oh.
poles that are still up.
Oh, there's still wooden poles for those yet?
For example, we just finished.
Until we get replaced with the new fixtures, probably?
Yeah, and we just inspected one side of town, and I think there was 11,
7.
I think it was more like 11, that came back with, that we needed to fix. There was one with an immediate need, which the guys just replaced over by Wright Funeral Home, and then there was however many other ones that are starting to show signs of, we better replace them.
Now, is that wooden ones that are doing
They're
that?
wooden ones.
But we put up wooden ones again, or,
No,
No.
So from the distribution system, we've kept back 5 or 6 good poles that are structurally sound. Now, in an emergency, we can take out a wooden streetlight pole, if it deteriorated or fell apart at the ground level, we can pull it out and replace it directly with the items we've kept back. But anything past that, we'd have to order the wooden poles. So we're kind of in a transition point.
So-
With more decorator style, we're getting the city to get more poles that way, or reusing our old.
that's what I was wondering, if we're looking at replacing those with a new metal pole and fixture, or we're just putting a wood pole back up and putting the light
Yeah.
fixture back on.
the newest poles that we found, the problem is lights and poles these days are, I mean, they're so much more expensive than they used to be. So in the last time that poles were ordered, unfortunately, we went with another different style. We don't like to have many, every time you bring a new style in, there's a new light and a new,
Yeah.
So every time you try to be
Harder to
consistent, then we
maintain.
had to pivot again. So we're doing direct buried poles were the latest, was it 6 or 7 that we had? I think we put, yeah, so we have about half of those left, but that's like, if you've seen the last 3 ones that we've replaced for the city, they've been direct buried, so they're a little bit different with the head that kind of comes out versus like the decorative globe with the, like the ones you kind of see around this side of town and on Main Street.
When you say direct bury, they don't have a cement
Correct.
thing coming up then that they're mounted on, they go right in the ground?
So to be clear, I wasn't sure I followed that. If we have a wooden pole that goes down now, we replace it with a metal pole if we have one. If we don't have one, we have the wooden ones on reserve to use if need be for, get some up in an emergency.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Yeah, so back to the reliability plan. So this is the copy of the plan that we basically go in and generate every year and have to file with the utility board as per their requirement.
Okay, is there any more questions on that? I'll make a motion to approve the yearly reliability plan.
Is that what the?
So
are you doing
that
that with
number 4?
resolution?
Well, I can do the resolution 182-24, 2024 electric reliability plan.
I'll second that, Barb.
Okay, all in favor, say
I
aye.
have to do roll call.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Roll call, Vanderloop,
Aye.
Monternaut,
Aye.
Gross.
Aye. Okay, discuss advertising dollars.
All right, so it's that time of year again that we always bring up. As you know, we have budgeted the advertising dollars and then the economic development dollars. The economic development dollars were what was pledged over the course of 3 years to the library. So that's what we're still in that process with those, but we do still have the advertising dollars. So I'm just,
And this is where we send out letters to the
yep,
different organizations.
yep, we've done it different ways in the past, but yeah. So
Okay.
I'm just asking if that's what you want me to proceed with and reach out to
Is
see
the
if
amount
anybody.
approximately the same as it's been,
It's,
that we have to give?
yeah, it's around $3,500, I think is what we have. And usually some of that I try to hold back a little bit in case we had to purchase something internally, advertising wise, like pens or whatever we get every year,
Okay.
but.
And we usually have around 6 to 7 requests, I guess.
Yeah,
I'd
all,
say.
usually pretty good organizations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Worthy.
I mean, I think it's a good
Very worthy
cause,
groups.
you know.
Yeah, I think we should go motion.
You need a motion for that or not?
I don't think so.
No? Just discuss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think then the motion will come back when you guys distribute them, once people apply and that type of thing.
Oh, okay, okay. All righty,
So I'll
sounds
go
good.
forth and do letters.
Okay, yep. Utility operator position.
All right, so, as you know, we have an opening, and I'm just basically requesting that I can go out and get that posted for replacement with the normal process that we normally go through. And
Are we going to have anything in there about having some kind of knowledge of electricity or something like that this time, or not? I mean,
I think that's part of the job description.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't think it's
Okay.
really necessary. I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't want to limit to that, someone not apply that could be good or learn that
right,
too.
that's, I just wonder.
So I think, I think
I
it's
would-
definitely a concern, but, I think we still need to look at everybody individually.
Mhm.
I would assume that we should have something that says preference, experience and knowledge of electricity and gas as a preference, but
Yeah.
not required, something like
I
that.
think it has that in the actual physical job description when
Does
they
it?
look at that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have,
It
I
kind of
guess I
goes
don't
over the
remember seeing
duties
it,
and the,
so, okay,
yeah.
I hope we
Yeah.
get people that have that experience, we might not, so.
yeah. Okay. Do we make a motion on that then? I'll make a motion to go ahead and post for the opening of a utility operator position.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Motion carried on the utility operator position. Plant fence.
All right, we just wanted to give you an update as part of the maintenance budget. One of the things that we talked about, I don't know, it's probably been 2 years now, was widening the fence to include, is it a sectionalizer?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a sectionalizer that's right outside our, which never made sense, but it's like right outside our fence, so basically it's hard to get into, so it's, we need
On
to
what
open
side
the
of-
fence
What
up
side of the building are we talking?
Are we,
Towards the silo.
towards the silo.
That, oh, okay, okay.
So we got quotes there's a fencing company that's coming to town to do fencing up where the dog park is.
Mhm.
So we got quotes to basically extend the fence. We tried to get them in the past. If they're it's hard to get people that want to do fence work for some reason. But finally got a quote, so,
Okay.
and it included extending that to the other side of that piece. And then also, one of the things we talked about was just the view of our stuff that's inside the fence is not the prettiest thing, especially with the new library coming. So Matt, actually, I think you made the suggestion to put up, I didn't even know these existed, put inside fencing.
Oh,
I was
That-
going to say,
Like a
this is a
privacy?
chain link
Yeah, it's like, a
fence.
yeah, so.
I mean, that's what's existing, and that's what we're going with. We can match it pretty good.
Yeah, so we did a quote to do basically slats in between the chain link that will cover up so you can't see through to see our,
oh, okay, like,
We'll still
like a
continue
privacy.
to
Okay.
maintain and beautify the structures behind it, but just as a preventative barrier or visualization
Uh-huh.
from the outside world, kind
Mhm.
of eliminate
Oh,
the viewpoint past it.
We're just going to do that on the west side, I assume?
Three
Or will we
sides.
do it south too?
I guess my thought was all sides, just for people that are walking, people that cut back behind our equipment, I guess, but just keeps people out. And it wasn't, I don't think that piece was very, do you
Is
remember
that
like the
very
breakdown?
pricey, the,
No, it was not as pricey as I thought it was. Do you
No,
remember what that
fence
breakdown
division
was?
Was more than what the privacy
Yeah.
slats were.
For some reason, I
Really?
thought the slats
Oh.
would be really expensive, but it came back it wasn't that expensive.
and they
How
would
will
do
it
that
be
too?
gated?
What's that?
How will that new fence be gated?
We already had 2 gates on the existing portion.
That go in from our existing fence?
We are changing the boundary to include some facilities that are outside of it right now.
And is there a need to have, get any equipment back in that area ever or anything like that? So we need to have
No. We'll be extending it 8 feet by, what was my measurement, 80?
Yeah. That sounds right.
8 feet further south and a total distance of the width of the property, or a depth in front.
Those slats, are they like the same color as the chain link, or they?
No,
No?
we-
Or I guess I don't.
We picked black
Oh,
because everything else
okay.
down there, there's the wheel that's black and the fence along
Oh, okay.
we're
Yeah,
trying to
the river.
visually, we just stood down there, I stood down and kind of like, look, so they had brown, they do have every color, they have literally every color you can think of. but
Really? Oh.
Just with the building, it's kind of that tannish, and then I thought tan would be
Yeah.
too much tan, and
Yeah, no, I think black would look.
white gets dirty. And,
Yeah, black I think would
yeah.
look nice.
We just picked black.
I prefer doing all of it around to make it
The
just.
slats?
The slats, you know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that was my thought in going at it, because it wasn't terribly costly.
Mhm.
What was the cost of the whole project?
I don't remember what it was now, I should have wrote that down. Do you remember? I can't tell you off the top of my head, but I can go look real quick. Is it in the quote thing? Can you just go run and look, and then we'll keep talking? I think it's in that quote folder. I have a terrible memory, Herb, I'm sorry.
What's the installation timeframe?
They're gonna come and do it when they come to do the dog park fence, which I think this month, end of this month or April, so.
Dog Park, God, Oak Hill, is it?
mm.
Up by the water tower, just below
Just
it.
across from that, isn't it?
Yeah, just below it.
Just like,
Below it.
yeah, right.
Just
kind of
below the
where
water
that
tower.
Oh, okay.
Driveway is, just all right
Yeah,
in there.
yeah.
It's kind of that
The
hilly
slopey,
area.
yeah, that slopey area.
I got a dog, needs to burn some energy, so I'll be happy when that's all put together.
The rest of that fence is in good condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, our existing fence is in
Yeah.
good.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point, Herb, because you hate to put slats in if it wouldn't be a good,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah,
that was a good, that
exactly.
was a good point
Yeah.
there. Mhm.
Yeah, the whole. Yeah, it was 4,800 basically to do the extension, material and the labor, and then it's $3,400 to do the entire enclosure with the slats.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need a motion on this?
If you want to, or, I mean, yeah, if you want to, that's fine.
I'll make a motion to, we put in the new fence and line it with a visibility protection, whatever you want to call it.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, oppose. Motion carried on the power plant fence and slats. Next are the minutes, the finance statements and bill list. Review and approve the February 14 meeting minutes, the February financial statements and fund balances, and the March bill list and claims for payment.
So if you go under, like, the very top page of the revenue expense report, and the second chunk down is the building maintenance and supply.
Mhm.
So that's where that previous thing will come out of.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, where was that at?
Under expenditure, like the very top page of the expense report, if you go down to the second paragraph where it says expenditures, Department 3550,
Yep.
then it goes under building maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. That's just been kind of on our radar for the last couple of years.
Oh, okay.
And we are gonna be, have you talked to anybody about the tuck pointing map?
I get numbers.
Yeah, so the next thing we're gonna keep working on is the walls.
Oh,
Product, some cracking on it, so get that repaired, and the moisture goes in, you know, freeze during the winter, and potentially it'll pop out and push out further.
and where's that at? Because we did do some of that
I
already.
did the
Did
southern
the-
wall,
yeah.
tuck pointing and brick.
Right.
Let's say the other three walls, stucco product.
Oh.
Find a person to actually
Oh.
work on that and get a price and repair it.
Okay.
So basically
Stucco.
restuccoing or
Not
Re-
certain what it will all detail, but I have to get budgetary numbers. and-
okay, see what they recommend and
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes, the finance statements, and the bill list.
second that motion, Barb.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried on the minutes, finance statements, and bill list. Correspondence, the February plant summary metrics. No company accidents or power outages. That always gets a smiley face for me. A little bit of a daily peak on February 9th. I don't remember February 9th. But anyway. And the total on February 28th. Alrighty. Pretty quiet winter. Which is all right.
Make a motion to approve the correspondence, February plant summary metrics, and the energy efficiency report.
I'd like to second that, please, Barb.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried on the correspondence. Next is the manager report, the workload, the energy conference recap, and the truck sale update.
Do you want to talk about workflow, or you want me to talk about
Sure.
workflow?
Okay, thanks, Matt.
All right, so for the last month, our workload, I'll start with training, operator qualifications. We've all been through our training, written exam, and we've had the IMU here to perform hands-on competency tests. If we don't pass those, then we're simply not qualified, so we're all good there. We proved that we can keep a safe work environment and continue to build and maintain our structures.
Okay, well, that's good.
As discussed earlier, we did the electrical streetlight inspection. We have noticed some poles that may be changed out. One of them has already been taken care of over by Rife Funeral Home. It was a wooden pole, and when you would test it, it was showing signs of deterioration at the immediate ground level.
How do you test those, Matt?
That one was in cement around in the sidewalk. So basically, you go up to it with a hammer, and if it's nice and dense and hard, it'll have one particular sound, and if it's rotted and soft, there won't be any sound at all. So with that, then you start digging, and you can see how much deterioration that there is in contrast to the diameter of the pole. So that is what determines, how soon something should be taken care of. Okay, we have our new truck finished. People in the community will see us driving around with that. We have the fiberglass work utility box on it, and it is identifiable with emblems, decals. We've been monitoring the excavation at the library. They have it now fenced off with, or a perimeter with fence, but we still have an easement that goes through that project for electricity. So we're always stopping by, monitoring that, because they are digging near our facilities. Then if they go out further into the alley, we do have gas main and people's service taps out there, so we have to monitor those situations. We discussed the power plant fence. In the office for myself, I'm finishing up some annual reports. So this week, our federal gas report was due to PHMSA, and I have two more that are coming up that'll be finished here in the next few days. And then we're getting to the busy time of the year. There's no frost on the ground. The days are warmer. It's getting nice out. So we did our main corrosion survey, which we have to do once a year by federal regulations. We actually choose to do it twice a year here at the utility. And that goes out and it takes a measurement and reading of our steel products that are in the ground. We have to cathodically protect them, and there's a number that if it doesn't meet a certain number, it's no good. So either you're okay or you're not. So we take those readings twice a year to know where we're at with our steel facilities in the ground. monitor those situations.
What does taking those readings look like, Matt?
It's walking around with a multimeter and a tool tied to it, and you put the tool on bare soil, and then the other end you clip onto, let's say, your gas valve or your meter at your house. Or you may see us out at our gas valve on the main line. It'd be a similar situation. You contact the soil and you contact the structure. We're taking a reading of voltage between soil and pipe. So realistically, we don't want to have anything shorted out or direct contact to soil. So we put anodes in our system, and the anodes create a voltage. And you know you have a protected system when you maintain a certain voltage. So that's where there's a particular number that comes in play. Either you meet that voltage or you don't. You're okay or you're not. So everything was perfect. We're in very good shape. And that's all I have.
What about on the truck sale?
Yes, truck sale.
So we just got the truck to the lot, we just picked it up this week, the end of last week. My week is, within the last 5 to 7 days, we got the new truck. So we can now go ahead and proceed with the old truck. What I could not remember is if we established what the board feels like should be a good minimum when we put that up for, because we do the bidding process. We put the pictures out, and then, you know, do we want to put it out and say minimum bid at X? So we don't get bids too low. I know we talked about it, but I didn't have it in my notes if you guys
Well, we have
said.
the
Is
option
there a
to
blue
accept or
book?
reject bids, right?
Correct.
Yeah, is there a?
So I don't know if
blue
I'd put it out there, but, I mean,
book Or no?
if we, well, I
Yeah, I didn't know
don't
if we had to look at, that's what I didn't know, is if we say what we, or you, or someone,
know.
do we put it and say like, and I'm just using this number, so it doesn't mean a number, let's say $10,000, I have no idea. You know, you say like minimum bid starting at 10,000, so we know that anybody that thinks they're gonna bid under that is just not gonna bid, and to start them off with something, or do we just say highest bids, but we can reject any and all bids if we don't feel like it's the right price?
That's a tough one. I don't know if we should put a starting bid or not on it. If we did, it'd probably be what our trade-in would have been, but,
We don't have a purpose for the truck, we want to get rid of it, so it seems to me that we should, with the option, if we have the option of rejecting bids anyway, just to put it out for a bid. And see
So I'm
what
assuming
happens.
we're gonna, if it's not what the trade-in, we went more than what the
Yeah.
trade-in value was.
Right.
yeah.
That's why I didn't know if we put, I didn't know.
I don't know if I'd put it out there or not. I mean, I think maybe if you do, you might be, everybody bidding around that range, where otherwise you
Yeah.
might get,
And then the other thing I think we talked about, right now it has a fiberglass utility box on it, but we still have the original box.
that's right,
Do
so.
we say includes factory box, or do we find another?
Or do we put that as an alternate and say truck as is with utility
Well-
box and have a bid?
Right now, the truck has the utility body on it with the Tommy liftgate, and those are, we see how expensive those were.
Mhm.
They're desirable, yes.
So,
So we were told in this, well, we were advised with our, what do I want to call him? Our gas compliance officer with the IMU. We have the ability to also put it on their site.
Yeah, we can list it anywhere.
So we feel like we won't have a problem getting rid of it.
I want-
Provided that we
I think we will too, because trucks are, they're a hot item, and,
So just say any and all, or we reserve the right to reject any and all bids and
Yeah.
yeah,
give it a
and,
certain
I
amount of
mean,
time and.
and I don't know, I think we should try and sell the truck the way it is, and then maybe we could sell the box separately. If they buy the truck and they're interested in the box, they could bid on the box.
Should I put the box out there for bid with the truck at the same time?
So the box isn't on the truck, right?
No.
No,
It's
okay.
just
The
brand
utility
new.
box is with the Tommy gate
Oh.
and lift gate on it.
The
so.
toolboxes and stuff are on
Oh,
I think to keep it simpler, I think I would just advertise the truck as is, and then we sell the box later. I just think it won't muddy the water so much. you know, somebody wants a truck, but they want it with the utility box, they don't care about the other box.
I mean, I could do it where they could check, you know, like, you could do a bid form that would say like, I'm only bidding on the truck as is. And then do another checkbox that say, and I want the box. Or I only want the box and I, you know what I mean, you could do it on the same form, so then they could just go through and be like, I don't
Yeah.
care about that box, I just wanna bid on the truck for this dollar amount.
Then you gotta kind of split that off when you're accepting bids though, too, you know?
Well, you would approve it as two.
Two separate transactions?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be different if
Yeah,
if
because
they're
it'd be
giving
just
you
two
two
things on a bid
figures.
form, and they would
Right.
As long as
decide.
they're not giving you one figure
Yeah,
for both.
yeah, right, yeah,
Then it would
right,
get,
yeah.
yeah,
Two figures that they would be
yeah.
giving you.
Then that would be fine, you
Yeah.
can do it in one.
Yeah, it'd
Well,
just be
I
on the
think
same
it'd be
form, but it'd
a
just
lot
be
less-
separate.
It'd be simpler to advertise if you did it like that, as long as you
It's
had two
separate.
boxes, had two checks.
Yeah.
They have
I
to
wanna
take
bid on
the truck
A,
as
I wanna
Yeah.
bid on item B.
They have to
Yeah.
take the
Right.
truck as
Separate.
is, right?
Yeah,
They have to.
Yeah.
There's no,
yeah,
We're
Yeah.
not gonna take a utility box
No.
out for somebody and sell
We're
that.
not selling the
No.
factory box back on the chassis.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good
so.
idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
You could, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that would work.
I don't know, are you guys good with not putting a number on it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, as long as we have the right to
Yeah.
reject or
Yeah,
or take,
yeah.
whatever. I think so, yeah. See what they come up with.
It's been awfully hard to get trucks, so maybe we'll do all right.
okay. I also have, so Joey actually attended the IAMU Energy Conference for me this year. And he did a really great job of recapping everything that he learned. So I could make sure to stay focused on what's happening in the
Mhm.
world of utilities. I just wasn't able to attend this year. So it's a good meeting because they have the gas folks come and the electric folks come. Like the APPA and the APGA, like federal, you know, throughout the country type people. So the themes, they talked a lot about projects in the supply chain. That was kind of a big topic of conversation throughout the meeting. They said that 20% of public power projects have been canceled due to supply chain issues. And there's a nationwide lead of 3 to 4 years on some transformers. Like, that's nationwide, that's the, so if we get them in a year, apparently we're doing really well.
Geez,
Which I thought that was
guess.
interesting. They also said that, in regards to that, the issues are forward buying, so the minute things became a problem, big utilities, investor-owned utilities, et cetera, like, they're buying in huge quantities, which is hurting the smaller people that just want less items. They said factory labor is a big constraint. There's a driver shortage to get things where they need to go. And the demand is gonna stay high for now, and high prices will stay high until the supply catches up, which is pretty, we've kind of all figured that. The recommendation is that we expand our inventory, which I feel like we've done.
Yes.
As soon as we knew, like, a project is going to happen, even if we're not sure when it's happening, we're going out and purchasing the stuff just to be ready. And then it says consider supply alternates, which I feel like we have. We've, you know, discussed with other companies trying to get things, planning further ahead. And then, what else did he learn? The other thing is, like, in the MISO market for energy, environmental groups are still pushing carbon-free, but there's not enough renewable energy in place for that yet. Wind is volatile, energy marketplace is gonna be volatile for a while. And again, they're, you know, the goal was carbon neutral by 2050, but they're having a lot of issues with that. From a legislative perspective, there's not a lot, which is, I think that's good in a year when we don't have a million different things going on. So there's not a lot to update that as far as like that's gonna affect.
Did they touch on the electric vehicle thing at all?
They said, the only thing that they really talked about was, the fund, like, they're trying to come up with the Economic Development Authority or the IEDA, like, they're trying to come up with things, energy efficiency things, to try to give incentives for electric vehicles. That's the main thing that I read through when he sent me these notes. What's the other thing? Oh, on the APGA, so the gas front, they're talking about maybe doing leak surveys, decreasing the time to 3 years instead of 5 years. These are all maybes, there's nothing definitive about any of this. They've also talked about having, which you'll like this, third-party inspections coming on any construction activity. So in, like, on the electric side, when things are done, people have to go through, electricians have to get an electric inspection from like the state. They come in and state electric inspect. Now they're talking about that on the gas side as well. So, but nothing's set in stone. That was just things that were brought up.
How come they never did it on the gas side? I mean, isn't that just as,
They haven't done anything on the plumbing side either.
oh,
So the plumbing, there's no inspections.
really?
And gas is usually associated with plumbing. and it's
Right,
usually
yeah,
a
that's
plumber
true,
that does
yeah.
that. And-
But,
Yeah, and it's,
That's
I think,
weird.
I've been told it's a matter of money, but
Well, apparently
know.
someone's talking about it somewhere, so.
yeah.
So those were kind of the
you
main-
know, It's interesting, yeah, I don't,
yeah.
The main
Yes.
things. And I think that has really nothing to do with, they always have like a, I don't want to say a fun speaker, but they always have like a, what do you call it?
Enlightening?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the word to use, like,
Don't know.
why am I like drawing a blank at what type of speaker it is? Like they're a fun speaker, but they're teaching you things, so.
Motivational.
Motivational, that's the
Yeah.
word I was looking for.
Yeah, I can't place
So the
that.
interesting part was their speaker, that's their motivational speaker this year, was Dan Mears, who is the Kansas City Wolf. And the Kansas City just won the Super Bowl, and Joey was he's a huge Kansas City fan, so it was very
Oh.
exciting that he got to see the Wolf speak.
Oh.
He's like he goes around and does speeches, and I guess he was a pretty good speaker too,
Oh,
so.
okay, cool.
Yeah. I won't
Okay.
highlight what that was about, but that was
Okay.
exciting for Joey, so I'm glad he got to go. Perfect year for him to go.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he went too.
Yeah,
and
I really appreciated him doing that, so
Well, that's
I
good.
don't like to miss that
I
meeting.
did have a
'cause it's
question
usually
about
pretty good one.
training. Are there trainings still out there yet that our current staff need to get? Are they-
Yes, so, from a gas perspective, you guys are all, Joey's just starting off, so, you know, the bumps, like where we do the bump
Mhm.
process, he just finished his first section of bumps, and then he'll go through in a year from now, and he'll start working on that last section to be fully gas qualified. Matt and Justin already are fully gas qualified, so they still have to do their yearly trainings, that they keep up with the rules and regulations and to make sure that they're still knowing what they're supposed to be doing on all the gas aspects. But then on the electric side, when we see things through the IMU, we send people off to go through the trainings, but they don't have as formal as a program as they do on the gas side. So, and a lot of the IMU electric training is focused on overhead, not underground, which obviously we don't have.
That's the biggest difference. They're really focused on overhead, and the principles still apply to underground, but as far as your lineman work and apprenticeship and all those.
Like your hands-on
steps and
qualification.
series, it does apply to underground distribution. So it's very different in that sense.
that may swing a little bit as
More people,
more
yeah.
people go underground possibly, but,
Yep.
We would hope for that.
yeah.
Give us more to receive on training.
Yeah, I wish they had the same type of thing for that as they did for gas.
Someone commented to me just not too long ago that they had relatives come into Cascade, and they just couldn't believe how clean it looked, because the poles, everything's underground. I mean, it just looks so
Mhm.
clean and neat looking, so kudos, good.
Yeah.
That was nice to hear, you know.
Yeah.
On another note, I see there may be going to be apartments in Bach Building available
Mhm.
before too long. Everything's,
Sounds like in April, they want to be able to list a few.
so we're in good shape there.
So we're
And
going to be setting a temporary transformer to be able to carry the load of X amount of apartments that we're going to list.
Because we don't have the real
And then
transformer
when the
yet.
actual properly sized transformer comes in, we will work with advising the property owner to provide an outage, change it out, and then they can bring their total capacity to us.
That was kind of
And
his, it was his
that's
request,
so we
because
can
he
handle
wants
the
to get
whole-
things rented, and he's
The whole
well
project.
aware.
Of the backlog.
Absolutely.
How many transformers do we have on hand?
Well, we got 9 in last year, which I feel really good about.
I
We
guess.
still have 4 or 5 on order, but the library,
Like larger size.
Jason Delaney project, the Bach project,
They're
they're all
bigger.
different sizes. Not to call them odd, but one transformer doesn't fit all. So they're being ordered by specification. And that's slowing some things down, but
And those are all
time is
on.
passing and our estimated window of arrival is getting closer and closer, so
Oh,
it's
Was-
useful.
Was there that were upgrading
So they're
transformer
totally
there?
reworking the building and looking at the future. In the future, they can potentially see 4 different services. And then for one of their pieces of equipment, they're currently using a phase converter. And that's highly inefficient, so.
So they're single phase right now in the whole
Yes, they're
building?
going from single phase to 3-phase when the
Transformer
is
comes.
available. Yep. So there's been a lot of provisions going on up there with their electrician, to work towards the future, but yet maintain a single phase service and grouping things together and still being electrical compliant with the state. So we've been working with them a lot.
And then I just thought of something. In the last 2 weeks, I've had 2 different people come forward just in regards to praise, and I just thought I'll just pass it along, because sometimes we don't ever talk about good things, we just talk about bad things.
Yeah.
I know when Justin was in here, he was dealing with, I don't even remember what customer it was, but he was dealing with something, and they came back and just said like how professional and thankful that they were for how he handled the situation. And then just this week, which you don't know about this yet, Matt was at the window, talking with a customer that came in and was explaining different things about their gas service, and they left and basically were praising Matt about, all of your knowledge and how you can remember things and how you understand like the homes, and, can figure out like, oh, I know your service and I know where you live and it's like this and we need to do.
Good.
It's always nice to hear the positive feedback,
Yes,
I
that's
guess.
right.
And I have
That's
heard
good.
good things too, Matt. So I'd like kudos to you.
Yeah.
Good job.
Appreciate it.
Thankful for all of them. That's all I have. Do you
And
have
I-
anything else?
And I just wanted to say,
Oh, yeah.
having the
Oh.
short staff right now, I
Just
just
thought of
want to make
something
sure
else.
that you take your time to handle the situation and just play it safe.
Mhm.
Better to be safe than sorry. And if it takes an extra half hour or whatever it takes, just do it proper and follow procedures, and I know I don't have to worry about it because I know you guys will. But I just want you to know with the short staff, you are going to be pushed a little bit more and everything. But I know myself and the board appreciate filling in with the one less person, and just keep up the good work.
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to add too that, when we look at this report here and there's no company accidents, that's huge.
Mhm.
And that makes our
Yes.
job a lot easier.
Yes, it
Safety
does.
first. If it takes
Exactly.
more time, that's
Yep.
okay.
Yep,
Need
exactly.
safety.
Yep, agreed.
Yep.
And then I just thought of one other thing, that I just want to personally thank Herb for being on the board. I know today is your last meeting, so we wish you all the best.
Thank you. You guys have been a pleasure to work with too, so thanks for making it easier for me too. And you guys I'm leaving this place in good hands, so, and I mean that, so.
Well, you brought a lot of expertise to the board and the crew, And
Yeah.
we all appreciate that, Herb, and you will be missed.
And I've learned a lot too, so
But
thanks
sure
for
wish
that.
you the best going forward. Thank you.
Just reiterate that piece that Barb just mentioned about your expertise has been something that we've all depended on and we really appreciate. And as well as your knowledge of the community and your rapport with the community has been great assets to have. So
Thank you.
thanks for all that, Herb.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
So do you want to do the final adjournment?
I think he has.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Meeting adjourned at
5:59.
5:59. Thank you, everyone.